Good morning, everyone. It's surgery day. How do you feel, babe?
Awesome. Excited.
It's gonna happen. Okay, so this is the most exciting video I think I've made as far as all my cancer videos, which is kind of weird. You wouldn't think, getting excited about it, but I just felt like, you always see those people that like try to have kids and then they finally do and they like have like the little onesie that says like worth the wait. I felt like this surgery was worth the wait. I'm so glad I waited to be seen by MD Anderson, especially after the last doctor. I just didn't feel quite comfortable just because, he didn't know a whole lot of melanoma. And then meeting my face is itchy too. Meeting my oncologist was the greatest sense of relief just because she does pure melanoma. She knew so much. She could answer all of my questions. And the other doctor, he was like, I don't know, ask your dermatologist. But this doctor, she knows more about melanoma than my dermatologist, which is exactly what I wanted. MD Anderson, I think, like, there's a reason why they're the best cancer hospital in America. Can't, brag about them enough. I'm so glad that I went there. But anyways, finally, after, 6 weeks of stress and waiting, I had my surgery. And Ryan and I have both agreed that, like, meeting my oncologist has made this process so much better. So the surgery, they called me the day before and they told me, okay, report there at 8:30, no food or drink after midnight. Like I said, I worked until 7 the night before trying to get everything ready, so I just ate at work, just had like a little sandwich, and then I wasn't hungry. I think I was kind of I was kind of excited. Ryan was really excited. I wasn't nervous. I was just more like dreading, like, surgery's gonna be fine, but I knew like, oh, it's gonna hurt afterwards and like all this stuff. So we just chilled. We kind of stayed up late because I was like, hey, I'm about to take a nap all day tomorrow. And I always just like to stay up a little late before surgery I'm not scared of I kind of am. I'm scared of not falling asleep during surgery. That's my fear. It's not that I won't wake up, it's that I won't fall asleep. So I like to stay up a little bit so I just no problem passing out. Anyway, so we got there. We just went ahead and valeted. Just because, like I mentioned a few videos ago, at MD Anderson, I think it's $3 more to valet, so you might as well, especially if you're gonna you get free valet your first day, but if you're gonna like not valet any other day, that's fine. But I would recommend at least doing it the day of your surgery so that you don't have to like sit and wait, while your designated driver, like your DD, goes and gets the car and comes back. They can run down, get valet, and then it takes the wait time down. So if you're gonna do it for surgery, I would recommend valet. Oh, and another thing I didn't mention in my last video, but the lymph node mapping and the surgery, for me at least, so I'm sure for anyone else that's doing melanoma treatment, it's at the Maze Clinic. So it's building 7. It's kind of hard to tell on the map because on the map it's like 5 and 7 are on opposite sides, so you can tell it's building 7, so you don't get lost like we did and then pull into the wrong parking lot and have to drive around. So it's building 7, and then like I mentioned in my last video, you go, last time it was T, this time it's U. It's on the 4th floor, so go up the escalators to get to the elevator, because the elevators downstairs only go up 1 floor, so then you got to get off and switch. So go up. Check-in was really fast. I guess because I had to be there at like 8:30. We got there at like 8, probably like 8:10 by the time we got up there, and there was only one other guy. So I filled out paperwork, about my name, my medical record number, which at this point just try to remember your medical record number because they start asking you. I filled out Ryan, who is my boyfriend and my driver. I filled out his name and his phone number, and then we went and sat, and I sat down, got my iPad up, put AirPods in, and they called me back, and I was like, oh, okay. So Ryan started to go with me, and they told him like, no, you stay here, we'll come get you in about 20 minutes. So I took off my Apple Watch, threw it in my bag because I knew like I couldn't wear it during surgery, and then I left my phone and everything. I don't recommend that. Take your phone with you because it is 20 minutes before-ish. I felt like more like 30, but I guess it's because I was just laying there bored. Before your like person can come back and see you. And nurses come in and out, but they come in for like a minute and then they leave. So I spent a lot of time just laying there bored, and I could hear like the girl in the room next to me. She kept getting texts. If you're gonna take your phone, please put it on silent though, because you never know. The person Like, it was her, like, third surgery. I heard everything about it 'cause she just kept talking. But just be considerate because you never know. The person on the other side of the wall might be their first surgery. They might be nervous. They might have a worse diagnosis than you for all you know. So just put your phone on silent. Try to be considerate of other people. Even if you feel comfortable, you feel at home. Just remember, not everyone feels that way yet. Anyways, so came in. The nurse took my blood pressure and my temperature, and then whatever the thing is that she put on my finger. I can't remember if that's your heart rate or your oxygen level. Anyway, she checked that. And then there's 5 questions that are going to be asked a whole lot, at least at MD Anderson, when you have your surgery. First and last name, date of birth, medical record number, who's your doctor, and in your own words, what's your surgery. So every nurse, doctor that comes in your room is going to ask you those 5 things. Just get used to it. I appreciate that as a lawyer because I know, like, they're just trying to make sure that they do it right. You know, on the lawyer side, I've heard horror stories of people with, like, med mal. If it's bad, it's bad. So I was super grateful about that. Then I stripped down completely naked, and they provided a gown, and you have non-slip socks. I thought it would be like compression socks, but they didn't have to have that, and then a hairnet. I had left a ponytail in my purse, or I always keep a ponytail in my purse. So it bothered me. My hair's too thick. It, like, kept falling out of the thing. So also bring a ponytail. I just did, like, once Ryan came in and I got it, I was able to do a little top knot to keep my, and put my hairnet on to keep my hair, like, from falling back. That's just a little personal tip. So then she did that, and then she left, and I don't think I ever saw that nurse again. Then another lady from the OR came in and again checked those 5 questions, and I think she just also verified, like, allergies, if I've had any recent treatment and all of that. Then she left. Then the anesthesiologist came in and he checked everything. He made me verify also what I was allergic to, what kind of reaction it causes. He was checking my throat, which I'm assuming he's checking to see if I have tonsils, or I don't know, maybe just to see how, like, wide my mouth can go in. And then he left. Then I had two nurses come in, and they also asked the same 5 questions. Then they went over all my information, and they, like, got me started. So, oh yeah, and the first nurse, what she did is, so the very first nurse, after I changed out of my clothes into my gown and got in bed, she covered me with those heated blankets again, and then she took another one to wrap around my arm. So whatever side you have the surgery on, your IV is going to be on the opposite. So my melanoma is on my right side, so it had to be my left arm that had the IV, which unfortunately when I went last week and got my blood drawn, they told me your left arm doesn't have good veins. For future reference, maybe try to use your right arm. So I tried telling them, and they're like, that sucks, but we have to do the opposite. So they wrap your arm. The last time I had surgery, they did that too, just to warm it up, just to make it a little easier. They do put it on your hand, not your elbow, so I have a little thing. So they, well, before they did that, they gave me, you take all your medicine before your surgery. So I know one was slow release tramadol, and I think the others, I think one might be like a nausea medicine, one might be like an antibiotic or something, I don't know. So it's 3 medicine, but it's like a lot of pills. It was like 1 and 2 and 3 or whatever. So you take all the medicine then, because it takes about an hour to kick in. So by my surgery only took like an hour. So by the time my surgery was over, the medicine was kicking in. That's why they do it like that. So I took my medicine, then they got my IV hooked up, and then they went and got Ryan. So at first, like, I was thinking, because the waiting room to wait to go into the surgery is not the waiting room that, like, people would wait on you. So and we had read that, oh yeah, when you check in, they do give you, like, they gave me a piece of paper to hand to Ryan that had, like, a special number on it that he had to use, kind of like, you know, it was like, he joked, like, his receipt for me, you know, he had to have that to pick me up. And on it, it said, you know, you wait in another room. So the waiting room before, like, that I was waiting in him with, has a little fish tank, and then the other one has, like, these big bubblers. It was cool. Anyway, so there's 2 waiting rooms, and I was worried, like, when they were like, oh, we'll go get him, I was worried he had already left yet, but thankfully he hadn't. So they went and got him. So if you bring a person with you, they can come back and see you before your surgery. So he came in, like I said, he helped me get my hair up, because by then I had an IV in. And then we took a few selfies, and it was really quick. Another doctor came in who was under my oncologist, and then a resident was with him as well. And they came in and they were like, hey, so the person ahead of you is already done. They're just like turning over the OR, so we're gonna be going in like 10 minutes. And I was like, oh wow, like like I said, like I barely sat down outside before I got taken in, and then they did all my stuff, and then I was ready to go. So they did come in, and they hooked me up to antibiotics, and I already had just like, I guess like the water, just regular IV hooked up. And so then that was it. Like I said bye to Ryan, and I guess at some point they gave me sleep medicine, because I remember they like wheeled me out of the room and like wheeled me to the doors, and then that's it. That's all I remember. I know they had told me before, like, you'll switch over beds and something like that. I don't remember any of that. I was out cold by then. So my surgery took about an hour. So Ryan, after he left me, they walked him down to the waiting room where he's supposed to wait in, the bigger room. And they told him, when you get there, check in. And then if you have to leave, like if you go to the bathroom or go get lunch, just let the front desk know, so that when the doctor comes out, they can find you, so they're not looking for you. You write down their phone number so they can call you. So Ryan told me, she came out and she told him I don't know what she said or how she said it, but he said she was so like optimistic and like very confident, and he loves her now, my doctor, Dr. Wargo. So basically what she told him is they did only have to remove that one lymph node. I didn't have like two right beside each other. And she said it showed like my tumor already had like 50% regression, which is great. So my body had been fighting it, had shrunk it down. I don't know if it shrunk it down 50%, if that's what she's saying. He didn't quite understand either, but either way, good news. My body was like on the defense. So very happy about that. She seemed very happy. She seemed, very confident that I shouldn't have a problem with this going forward, just because my body did react to it the way you would hope your body reacted to it. Anyways, so she came out, and then they finished me up, and then they wheeled me to a recovery room, and I slept for about 2 hours, and then I can't remember if they woke me up or if I just woke up on my own. But I woke up, and then Ryan was there. They told Ryan, go ahead, and he went down to the pharmacy, I was given a prescription of 20 tramadol, and he just paid for it. He said it was like $1.50. So if you're worried about that, that's how much it costs. Make sure you bring a card, and let your designated driver know that, they can go do that for you. So he was there. So I was just laying there, was kind of on and off. I sent a picture to my parents, let them know I was doing fine. Took a picture of my leg, and it was more gnarly than I thought it would be. It's 8 centimeters long, which I think I looked it up is like 3¼ inches, and it's 3 centimeters deep. So it's like 1 and like a 15th, like 1.15 deep. It looks bad. It does not hurt. And at first yesterday I thought like, oh, it's just because like the anesthesia and everything, but I've taken 2 tramadol in the past 24 hours and 4 Tylenol, and it just doesn't hurt because it was so superficial. It didn't go down into the muscle. It was really just on just like the fat layer. It kind of goes and it dips. I was joking with Ryan. I was like, man, couldn't that have been nice if it was on my inner thigh and I just get like a little liposuction? It doesn't look bad. The dent, it more looks like kind of like a sinkhole. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about it aesthetically at all. They glued most of it, and there's I think 4 stitches. So anyway, so I was waking up, and then I started feeling better. She asked me, I had like all these drink options, but juice sounded good, so I like chugged apple juice. It was, I don't know, just the best thing ever. They give you graham crackers too, not just like the nasty saltine crackers. So Ryan and I are joking like, oh, we just need like marshmallows and chocolate, and we can be making s'mores. And like I said, the nurse stayed with me the whole time, so they're watching you to make sure you're waking up and you're not at a fall risk and everything. Then once I got fully awake and I started to feel better, and she was like, do you think you're ready to go home? I was like, yeah, I do. So you have to go to the bathroom before you can go. So she got up and she helped me walk to the bathroom. Getting up wasn't bad. When I went to the bathroom, when I stood up, that was the first time I felt pain. The pain didn't feel like surgery, like tightness or like, you know, like pain. It felt more just like sore, like someone had just punched me really hard. Not even like working, like I've been more sore working out, like Orange Theory, than this, so it wasn't bad. I mean, it just kind of hurt. I noticed it. She did warn me, you know, my pee's was blue because of this dye. I can't remember if it was like the day before, but anyways, that kind of hurt, and then that was it. So while I was going to, or before we went to the bathroom, she called up and they got a wheelchair. So the girl, after I got out of the bathroom, they shut the curtain. Ryan had to help me get dressed because it was hurting to like bend over, and I didn't want to bend over and like, you know, lose my balance and fall. So Ryan helped me get dressed, and then they wheeled me down. Like I said, we valet parked, so the car came out. They wheeled me right in, got in. We drove home. I didn't feel too groggy. I was, you know, awake enough that my mom and my sister were both at work, but I still like group called them to tell them like I'm okay, I'm doing fine, because I know a lot of people thought that I was like downplaying how bad the surgery was. I know, and they were afraid that I was just trying to make everybody feel better, but the surgery really was not. I mean, in terms of surgery, like it really was almost like Ryan and I kind of were talking about. It seemed like the seriousness level of like getting your wisdom teeth out, you know. It's just like it takes like an hour and you're kind of groggy, you take some pain pills, you're out of it for like a day, and then you're fine. That's about how it equated to, at least for mine. Like I said, they didn't have to go down that deep because she said thankfully it had regressed. But it wasn't as scary as I think, you know, you would think like a cancer surgery, I guess, because most other surgeries, you know a lot of people that have had it, but not a lot of people, at least that I knew, had cancer surgery. So anyways, it was fine. I called my mom and sister to let them know I was fine, and then I kind of like passed out. I know my mom was really worried about once we got back if I was going to be able to walk, like to walk from the garage to my apartment, like if I would need more than just Ryan to like lean on. But it worked perfectly fine. I could walk, it didn't hurt. I just came in, got in bed, we put 2 pillows up to like prop up my leg, and then I just kind of like took a nap, and then I woke up and I still felt fine. So they had told Ryan before, like, try to get her up like every hour, get her moving, you know, prevent blood clots, just help the blood flow and everything, prevent swelling. And so a good reminder is if you have an Apple Watch, every hour it'll tell you to stand anyways. Sometimes, you know, it doesn't, it counts you can be laying down and it still counts, but mine was good. So we just set a timer every hour I walk. So yesterday I tried walking, and I live in an apartment, and I made it to my next door neighbor's door, and just that soreness came back, and I was just like, hey, like, I don't want to push myself, and Ryan was like, no, and so we turned back around. They did tell me like I said, they gave me tramadol, but they told me like if you need anything else, like Tylenol will be just fine. So Ryan went down to Target, he got me Tylenol, he got me some snacks like little Lunchables, got me Dr. Pepper because I was trying to wake up. And so then I took the Tylenol, slept a little more, then we tried again, and I slowly worked up down the hallway. And so that's basically what I've been doing, is just, and still today, every hour I will, you know, take a little walk. I mean, it's like 3 minutes just down the hallway, touch the wall, come back, and then the rest of the time I'm sitting here. My legs are elevated right now just to keep the swelling down. I took one tramadol last night before I went to bed, and then I woke up at about 3:30 this morning, and I was wide awake just because I'd slept all day. So I like laid in bed for like an hour, and then I was like, okay, I'm wide awake, I might as well just get up, brush my teeth, and I took a little walk. And when I got back, I walked a little bit further, and I think that might have been a little too much. I'd just woken up. So I came back, took some Tylenol, and then eventually fell back asleep and was fine. Like I said, my pain has been minimal. It looks worse than it feels, thankfully, so far. I actually forgot that I'd scheduled a dentist appointment this morning. I thought this was a different day that I scheduled it, and so I was just gonna like come to work late. But they called me yesterday, and I was like, oh, okay. So I went and got my teeth cleaned today, and my dentist looked down. She's like, why is your leg orange? And I was like, oh yeah, because I pulled up my shorts, and I was like, I had surgery yesterday. Like it was really fine. Oh, a tip of what I wore. I forgot to mention this earlier. So I put a lot of thought into this because the last time I had surgery, I just wore leggings because, you know, leggings are comfortable. But if your melanoma is on your leg, I don't recommend that because you're not going to want something tight. Even like looser leggings are still tight. And I didn't have any, I don't own any sweatpants anymore. And I wouldn't even recommend like yoga pants. Those are still kind of tight. So I just had like Lily Pulitzer, they're called lounge pants. They're basically pajama pants, but that's why I wore. They were very loose. And I just wore like a little like long sleeve shirt with a hood, kind of like a fleece hoodie, I guess. It was very thin. That's just my tip to you. That's why I wore shorts to the dentist today. It's just because it was all my like pants or leggings, capris are all like too tight. So I'm just trying to wear as loose as clothing as possible. And then also, I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, so that's just what, if you're trying to figure out like what to wear, that's what I did. So today has been pretty fine. And when I got back from the dentist office, I did notice I had a little bit of a swelling, and so that's why I took another tramadol, just because I think like, I mean, I was laying down in the dentist chair, but I guess my legs weren't as elevated. But that's what I've been doing so far today. I felt fine. I've ate a little, and I haven't felt the need to take any pain medicine. I'm trying not to take it if I don't need it. I'm trying just to, you know, keep myself awake, keep moving, like I said, once an hour, and I feel fine. And hopefully this is it. So it'll take about 10 days to check. I'm a little bit nervous because that lymph node, when it lit up, it was super close to my melanoma. But I mean, my body has done such a great job so far that I'm feeling pretty confident about it, and I feel like this might be it. And you know, then I'll just check up with MD Anderson. I think they said like every 6 months, check up with my dermatologist every 3 months, and then that could be it. So hopefully in my next video I can announce that I'm officially in remission with no evidence of disease. But for right now, you know, we're staying optimistic, and the surgery went fine. I feel fine. I mentioned in another video I was worried because I have a mediation actually tomorrow. Thankfully, one of my coworkers was like, don't worry, I got it. And I wasn't prepared for it at all because I was going to go up in the morning and do it, but he's so experienced, he figured it all out himself. So I was like, okay. So now I don't have to worry about that. I wasn't worried about going to it walking. I was more worried about like sitting down for an hour with my leg not elevated, because I'm 5'2", so when I sit in a chair, my feet like dangle. My feet don't sit flat, so I was afraid that, you know, like usually does kind of cut off some circulation, so I didn't want that. So that's more what I was worried about. So now I don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to go into work tomorrow, wear my loosest pair of pants, prop my leg up all day. I haven't decided, maybe I'll prop it up on a desk, or I have like a little chair if anyone ever visits me that I can put my legs in. And I'm just going to take it easy for a little bit, and everything should be fine. If you have any questions, if you have wide local excision or a sentinel lymph node biopsy coming up, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope I could prepare you for what to expect beginning to the end, because like I said, I couldn't find a whole lot about, like, obviously you know what the surgery is going to be, but what's it like, what's the procedures, you know, like when to take your phone, when not, and everything. So yeah, that was it. The best day that we've had so far. It's a huge sigh of relief, a huge weight off my shoulders. I know my parents are so happy too. You know, it's just, I want to thank everyone for all the prayers and all the messaging me. Especially, I would like to thank everyone who's reached out and told me that they've gone and either scheduled a skin check or got one. I actually had my aunt message me, and she went and she actually had to get a mole removed. Or a little, I guess, yeah, because they were suspicious, and that just made me so happy. And because now she's on treatment for it, and it's like, you know, she never would have known. So I'm just so grateful for everyone that's been going and getting a skin check. If you haven't, please, I mean, it takes 30 minutes, you know, once a year. And like, my surgery was more intense because I actually had to be, you know, if it's like stage 1, just, or like in situ, I think it's, you know, they can just do it like with local anesthesia. You don't have to go under general anesthesia, have a whole surgery, have a lymph node removed. Mine was just because I let it, you know, because it was so long that I was like borderline, just to be sure. But if you get it checked early and get it diagnosed early, things are much easier for you. So even if you don't think you have melanoma, I didn't think mine looked bad. Don't question it. Just go get your skin checked regardless. Even if you don't have any moles at all, you can't go wrong. It's not gonna hurt anything. And tell your friends too, because you never know, you might actually save a life. And that's the best thing that I can hope for out of this situation, is that I can just spread some awareness to everyone in my life and have everyone, all my friends and all my family members, go get a skin check. So I want to thank everyone for your support so far, and like I said, I'll make another video. I'm probably not planning on doing one until my 2-week checkup, and then I'll let you know. I haven't bathed or anything yet. I'm gonna try that tonight. I have Johnson & Johnson's baby water, or baby just bath wash that I'm gonna use, just because it's really mild, and I'm just gonna be very gentle, wash it off tonight. I wanted to, let it wait a full 24 hours, and then in, like I said, in 2 weeks I'll go. I'll have my stitches removed, and before then though, I will get my lymph node results. Hopefully they should call me. So that's it. That's all we're waiting for. And if I think of anything else, I'll just make another video. Bye guys.